Falcon fans, and of course, Falcon fans. You already know what it is. You already know what it do. One time for the fan. We are back like that with another podcast here for all of our diehard Atlanta Falcon fans. Great to be with you all. Chase is here. Bodie is here. T. Will is here. And we got a special guest getting ready to join us in about a couple seconds. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing great.
T. Will?
Can't complain, man. Can't complain.
Doing great.
Living life. Another day to talk Falcon football. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Let's do it.
Falcons football. Falcon fans, I know y'all lit. I know y'all live. I know y'all about to enjoy this. Bodie, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm here.
What's up, Bodie?
That lets you know.
What's cracking? What's cracking, y'all?
That lets you know Bodie's ready to talk some Falcons football. Our special guest is also ready to talk some Falcons football. We spend so much time bringing great special guests to the podcast in the past couple weeks. Now we got another one getting ready to join us here. T. Will, before we get ready to drop this special guest into the podcast, tell us a little bit about why we do bring these special guests to the show. Like, what's so important about adding somebody else from the outside of One Time for the fans to come listen to what they have to say? What's so important about that?
Well, Jack from State Farm. Just kidding. I'd like to think that we, like the new Falcons regime, like to collab and like to formulate different ideas as to, number one, what is going on, and number two, where are we going, and number three, how can we win? And, you know, I mean, we can listen to ourselves all the live long day, but I think it's better when you kind of get the flavor of someone else, when you get the opinions of someone else, and you can collectively get to where you're trying to be. Those are just my thoughts. What say you, Jack?
You know, it's always great to talk with Falcon fans because we talk about this every single day about what the Falcons can do and our thoughts and our opinions. But when you reach out to other Falcon content creators or Falcon fans to hear what they have to say, it's really good insight, because just like a fan like myself or Chase or Bodie, you know, these fans are diehard. Kerry, Dwayne Ruffin, Philip Crawford, these are diehard Atlanta Falcon fans, and they want to win. So without further ado, let us bring our special guest to the platform. Chris Tipmore, a.k.a. A1 Forever, is in the building. Falcon fans.
What's good? Spade, money, T. Will, what it do?
Hey, man.
Everybody, Falcon fans, what's going on, man? Falcon fans, we're getting closer to free agency. I mean, I hope y'all was checking out the combine, checking out some particular talent that may be coming to our Atlanta Falcons, man. So, man, I'm just happy to be here, man. It's a pleasure to be on the podcast. I believe it's like my first time on One Time for the fans. So I'm
first time. We've chatted up before. Chase, you had a panel recently on Dirty Fanatics United, which had A1 on there, and then of course you're also over there with Smitty and Berto, and you have your platform too as well. But this is great when we have a chance to talk with Falcon fans and content creators, because you said a lot about what we said on our podcast too as well. So we're all fans trying to win. We want to find out what A1 has to say about our Falcons. That's why we got you here, brother. So appreciate you taking the time to come talk with us, man.
Hey, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate you guys even wanting to hear my opinion, man. Shout out to the chat, man. Shout out to the panel, the show. Hey, man, let's get it going, man.
Hey, let's go ahead and get it going. Falcons news and updates real quick. The re-signing of Ryan News. What Arthur Smith called him? News Flash? Is that was his nickname when Arthur Smith had him over here?
Those nicknames. That's
what he called him.
I guess
doesn't matter what
News Flash. I guess that's what it was.
Right?
Yeah,
Smith.
Why was that like
Arthur Smith name? I'm good
Bodie,
on it.
Quick re-signing over the weekend. We had Liam, the Janu release, and then of course now Ryan Nuzio. I guess a depth position move for Terry and the crew, but I think Terry and then they're getting ready to start cooking in a couple of days. But how do you guys feel about this? This re-signing of a depth player for right now?
Familiarity. I mean, he's been on the line. He's been on the team for a couple of seasons. I mean, you don't want to necessarily bring in too many new guys. You do want to have some kind of chemistry going on, because it's very underrated, but very important, I believe, in the game of sports, period. So you got to have that. And, bringing him back, he didn't do bad at all. Depth piece, like you guys said. Hey, it's a few little teasers. Like you said, we had to cut. We also re-signed Liam. So, we got a little teasers, but I believe, like you just said, it's cooking time. It's cooking time.
Bodie 3000, the resigning of Nuzil. What you think about that, brother?
Depth signing. He can come in and compete, of course. Of course, when we sign guys, we sign guys back. They see something in them, and he held up nicely. So, I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? Bring guys in here who want to compete and want to become good. So, let's get it.
T. Will, Raheem, Terry, the crew. They're looking at the roster. Small moves have been made. The long snapper re-signing, and then you got the depth piece right here re-signing. I think this week we're going to get some things flowing here in the Falcons camp. But guess your thoughts about Nuzil signing. He was here with Arthur Smith, still going to be here with Raheem Morris. If he can make the team. It's only a 1-year deal, so I'm guessing there's going to be some camp battles going on. So I'm not saying this guy got a big $5, $6, $7 million deal. We got to watch this guy, but just a small re-signing to keep Falcon fans happy over the weekend. Your thoughts too, Will?
Well, when it comes to offensive line, continuity breeds success. You need to know the guy next to you, and to the extent that you can bring your pieces, even your backup pieces back, and everybody get to know everybody and play together, it's usually a lot better. So from that perspective, I'm fine with it. Like you say, it's a depth piece. And can you really ever have enough offensive linemen? You never know what's going to happen. So I'm good with it. No issues here.
Chase, Dirty Fanatics United, the re-signing of Nuzil, they could have re-signed anybody else on the offensive line. Why Nuzil? Why just this guy? Is he a piece that maybe they can see fill this rotation coming up in the next couple of weeks? What's going on here, Chase?
Ryan Nuzil, just like all the other guys said, Ryan Nuzil is a guy that's a depth piece here in Atlanta. He's played with the system. He knows the guys on the front line. They talked about wanting to keep the O-line the same way. Ryan Nuzil is also not too slouch of a backup. Ryan Nuzil's had 203 snaps played, only 1 penalty and 0 sacks allowed in 203 snaps. So that's not bad stats for a backup here in Atlanta. So Ryan Nuzil would be a definite spot, I think, that makes the team as long as training camp works out well for him. I think Ryan Nuzil is safe.
Training camp, something we got to talk about in a couple months. We talked about competition battles that's going to happen here. I think your wide receiver 3, 4, and 5 is going to be a nice battle. Your tight end group is going to be a nice battle outside of Kyle Pitts. And you're going to have hopefully no quarterback battle that we have to deal with. But then you got that offensive line too as well, if they're going to decide with Dahlman being the future here or however that may be. And then McGarry too as well. He's been a name in the Falcons camp that maybe could be a trade asset coming up in a couple of days. We don't know what the Falcons will do. We'll find out shortly. A1, what Terry has done already with this organization since he's been here. He's going into a new season now with a new head coach, right? He's going into this season now getting ready to probably get the quarterback that they wanted in the beginning. What does that say for fans right now for Terry? Because they're always going to post Terry is cooking. But get into the mind of Terry. Get into the mind of the fans of how the respect for Terry, the accountability and the leadership as a general manager. How do you feel as Terry so far as GM?
Oh, well, honestly, I believe Terry has done well with his opportunities. For one thing, he got us out of Cap Hill. He definitely we had to do that first and foremost. So he came in knowing that he had a task in front of him. And he completed that task and got us out of Cap Hill and got us in the situation that we're in right now. We got some money to spend, y'all. We never would have had that if Terry didn't come in and pull the necessary strings, get rid of the Matt Ryans, the Julios, everyone that needed to go. We do have a few. And the Debo. Also had to get rid of Debo. So it had to be done. Some people might have would have danced around the opportunity to make the right decision, but Terry made the right decisions for this franchise, for the brand, and I'm happy that he is here. I'm happy that he's going to have more insight and more control. So with this new head coach and Raheem Morris, they're going to collab together. You already heard that's the word that we heard in press conferences. These people are going to be collabing. It's going to be a group effort. No one's going to go behind anybody's back. Nobody's getting backdoored. And, so the whole structure it's starting to come together, and I enjoy seeing it because that's something that we needed, man.
Great words there from A1. That's why we have him here on the podcast. Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. You got Dirty Fanatics United, content creator too as well. Also co-host with One Time for the Fans. So check out their channel over there. You have A1 Forever too as well, who you have a lot going on with your day-to-day with your work and then your podcast. And then you have so much going on with Smitty and Bertle too as well. For A1 to come over here and chop it up, Falcon fans, hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe button. Right. Chase, you hear what A1's saying about Terry, and now we're getting ready to go into this draft season where people are getting ready to start posting Terry is cooking. Look at some of these moves that Terry has made. Draft coming up, Chase. Dallas Turner is a name that Falcon fans have been talking about. Just on the side, I know quarterback is a big issue here. A1, I see you. It's coming back. We're going round table here. I see you. Chase, Dallas Turner at 8. A lot of reports coming out that he seems to be the pick, or he might be the pick. I mean, there's reporters here, reporters there. First of all, rumors are flying all over the place. So One Time for the Fans not going to say that Dallas Turner is the pick, but we're hearing that, he possibly could be the guy. And of course, he had an impressive combine too as well. Right. And we'll see what happens, of course, with his pro day. But Chase, Dallas Turner at 8, yes, no, and why?
Dallas Turner at 8, if you've got your quarterback secure, you damn right. Dallas Turner at 8 with a 4.47 40-yard dash as an edge rusher. Dude, this guy's dynamic. He's got the size. He's got the build. Not only the strength, but the technique he uses. If you actually go back and watch his clips, a lot of people were saying his downfall was he uses more strength and speed over technique. To me, the guy's got it all. He's got the build. He's got the speed. He showed it. He's got the vert. He's got the jump, 10.7. I mean, the guy's a baller. And if you get him at 8, I mean, I believe you got a steal at 8. To me, this is like the Will Anderson move that went at like number 3 on the draft board last year. I think this could be a guy that slips up and goes higher than what we're expecting. But yeah, for sure, at 8, you take it.
Bodie, right. Dallas Turner at 8, yes, no, and why?
Look, pass rusher at 8. Falcons pass rusher at 8, nonetheless. Haven't had a good history, have we?
Here we go. Here we go.
I just want to bring up the big fat ass elephant in the room, I mean, some people might be superstitious or something like that. I'm not, by the way. I just wanted to just say that. Okay.
Yeah. Bring up the facts.
The cool thing about the podcast is you can talk about these things. So please, platform is yours.
So yeah, I mean, let's go back to if I'm not mistaken, Jamal Anderson. I ain't talking about that guy.
Not the running back.
Not the one you thinking.
Not the running back.
Right. The other one. It was terrible.
That's
my 2 down. 2 down, Jamal Anderson.
Yeah. I believe we picked him at 8.
Down
a little guy named Vic Beasley, I think.
Oh shit.
Him?
At 8.
Right, but yeah.
At 8.
I just wanted to bring that up just to be fun. But no, we're gonna talk about Dallas Turner. I'm not comparing him to them. I'm not even going on a tangent with that. Those other guys had potential. They didn't live up to it. But Dallas Turner is different. He's an athletic marvel. He's a beast. Mm-hmm. We saw it at the combine. We saw his numbers. I mean, the dude can get there. He can get to the quarterback. I'd be remiss to not say that, he doesn't have he hasn't been highly rated like Will Anderson was last year, because Will Anderson was a better run stopper. He was a better, he was a little bit more well-rounded than Dallas Turner. Most people would say Dallas Turner is so-called, I wouldn't say a one-trick pony, but like he's a more of a rusher. He's just a rusher. So that's his knock. Okay. But what he does very fucking well. Okay. I mean, very well. Okay. And there's room to grow. So, I mean, if we get to the point we're at 8, depending on how free agency look, I don't give a fuck. If we sign Danielle Hunter at in the free agency, you can never have enough pass rushers. I would be for it. I would. So we just have to assess how free agency goes and how we feel about that. We mess around, get Danielle Hunter or another pass rusher in free agency or something.
Yep. Out the window.
Then that might might change some things, but we'll just see. But I'm for it. I'm for it at 8.
Falcon fans, you're hearing it from Bodie, Chase, T. Will, or One Time for the Fan, Dirty from X United, A12 as well, about, not only just draft scenarios, but of course, if we could land a Dallas Turner at 8, or if we should land him, like how would Falcon fans feel about that? Because all options are on the table. Nobody's saying he can't be selected from the Falcons, because he could be a pick for the Falcons. We don't know, but when you're doing your draft board, remember we did. Oh, damn, Bodie, I feel like I'm going back in the past. When you're doing your draft board, remember we did this shit again last year. Don't just put the one name there and say that's the guy. Let's put a bunch of names on the list and be comfortable with it after you watch the film and the highlight and the tape and so on. T. Will, I know you're agreeing with that. Your thoughts on Dallas Turner at 8 and then A1, it's to you. Terry, yes, no, or why? And tell us why.
I'm all for Dallas Turner. I'm so Dallas Turner. I can't even, like. First off, I mean, we need to draft, and not that we didn't need receivers, and not that we didn't need Bijan, but this has been sorely needed for a while. And again, I'm not criticizing the Falcons regime. I love Bijan Robinson. Hell, I was for it. But we probably need to draft defensive ends for the next 3 drafts. We definitely need to get Dallas Turner. There are no ends or buts about it. We need a pass rush. We need a pass rush so we can get off the field. We need a pass rush so we can put the ball back, and whatever quarterback we have, we need a pass rush. Yeah. It's that simple. The question is, will he be there at 8? Yeah, right? I know you got the 3 quarterbacks, but will he be there at 8? I hope so. And if he is, I'm definitely for it. I have no negative. I've nothing bad to say about Dallas Turner and nothing bad to say about the pick. I'm all for it. A1, Chris, it's to you.
Oh man. Dallas Turner. Now Dallas Turner, he impressed me, man. I gotta say it, man. The man impressed me. The man can jump higher than some wide receivers.
Yes, he can.
The man can run faster than some running backs.
Yeah,
he's a
say it again. He can run faster than some running backs. Is it defensive player we're talking about?
Than some running backs.
A pass rusher?
We're talking about a pass rusher. I feel like this guy is an athlete. And don't get me wrong, I have heard the same things and I fell into it myself about he uses his speed and ability, his athletic ability too much. He's not technical. He's not polished. Let me tell you what Dallas Turner is. He's a disruptor. He's somebody that can get after the quarterback, something that we need. I know we just had a good season, or at least a decent season, in getting sacks this past year. But hey, just imagine if you could just drop a Dallas Turner right on into that defense and what kind of heights it can take you to. Regardless, everybody has a weakness coming out of college. Okay? Every player in this draft, in this year's draft, previous year drafts, and in the drafts in the future are all going to have weaknesses. That's why you coach them up. At the end of the day, you want a guy who's a player, who's a disruptor, who's a game wrecker. And Dallas Turner has the ability to be those type of things. And if you let Raheem Morris and Jimmy Lake get a hold of him, it's no limit to where he can go. He's the number 1 ranked edge rusher, or just edge, and he had better numbers than pretty much everyone who did defensive drills, the defensive tackle, linebacker. He was the best, the number 1. He was the number 1. And just like T. Will said, with this combine, he may not even be there at 8.
Yep.
Somebody could take the chance and say, hey, man, that's a disruptor. That's somebody that can go get one of these quarterbacks that's getting drafted. And, you can have maybe the Giants get him and pair him with Thibodeau. You can, you can have different scenarios going on. I mean, also, don't forget, the Chargers are in cap hell. They may want to get rid of Bosa. They may want to get rid of Mack and then slide in somebody like this. So Dallas Turner, I believe this combine, he upped his stock just a tad bit more to where people may have to take a look at him. And hopefully he is there at 8, especially if we have our quarterback in place. Because if we don't have a quarterback in place, that's the only thing deter me away from getting him. No quarterback, it doesn't make any sense if we don't have a quarterback or some type of plan that it seems like we're going to make to get Dallas Turner at 8. But if we have everything in all our ducks in a row, man, then I see we can go ahead and get a player like that, because his comparison is a guy who the Carolina Panthers just said they will no longer have negotiations with, and that's
Brian
Brian.
Burns. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're starting to hear about this every single day now as we get closer to free agency about teams are going to tag their star guys. Players that you thought were going to be on the board are not going to be on the board. A name today, Christian Wilkins, that I'm going to talk about shortly here, I think would be another good fit. He's going to be a free agent shortly. We'll get to the free agent portion in a minute. A1, staying with you with the draft scenarios, because I know there's some crazy draft scenarios out here in the world of going on with the Falcons. If you're looking at what the Patriots are saying, Falcon fans, Patriots are saying right now at this moment, from what I believe, agree or disagree, they're comfortable with taking a quarterback at 3, which means they're not picking up the phone, which means don't call them. They don't want the 7th pick. They don't want the 10th pick. They are comfortable with taking a quarterback at 3. I've been trying to read into much of the Commanders journalists and what they've been got going on over there. Seems like Sam Howell may be a trade target coming up in a matter of days. So if it's possible that they might be even
that was funny. Go ahead.
But, you know, I mean, because Sam Howell, I know he had his weeks of, you know, leading the league passing and so on, but there's still a situation like how it was with Ritter. Washington feels like he's not the guy. And they have the 2nd pick. They got a little cap space. They got a new head coach. They might go target a vet, or they might even make that move at number 2. And that goes for the Falcons to say, if we're weeks away from the draft and you know number 1 is Caleb, 2, the Commanders seem like they might go quarterback, and 3, the Patriots are going quarterback. That's where this Dallas Turner talk comes in. The Jared Verse talks come in, because you might not get that quarterback at 1, 2, and 3. They're not picking up the phone for you, the Raiders, the Vikings. Why would the Patriots want to give up their quarterback of the future for the Falcons? Is what I'm trying to understand. Why, if they seem so tight on that? So A1 to you with these crazy draft scenarios. What do you got in the mind of A1? What you been seeing around the NFL that could shake up some things here?
Well, honestly, I've seen some good news and the possibility of the Commanders and possibly the Cardinals willing to trade out of their pick.
Okay.
I did see something like that. I believe if I'm trying to quote the general manager of the Commanders.
Nice.
I believe he said they're willing to do anything to make their team better. And if that means trading out of the number 2 pick, then so be it. Now, the only thing is you got to wonder what's that asking price, because that's still a nice position to be in the draft. You're definitely getting a quarterback or a player, whoever it is that trades up. You're definitely getting whatever you want at 2, because you know Caleb is 1. So the sky would be the limit. But also for the 4th overall pick, the Cardinals, I see that they're willing to possibly trade back as well to get some more picks, because let's just be honest, them Cardinals, they need a whole football team. So it's just so Marvin Harrison wouldn't do it by himself. Joe Ott wouldn't do it. Even Dallas Turner going there, it wouldn't change the franchise. They need a few things down there. So that's why, like, for me, I've always kind of like targeted the 3 and the 4, because I thought you possibly can get in one of those little spots. But hey, if you need to do what you got to do to get up to number 2 to get the guy that you need, I would be all for that as well, because I've been team young guy the whole time. I mean, we've heard about Drake May. I'm a Jaden Daniels guy. Me personally, I feel like he has the intangibles to take this team to another level. And we also have the right coaching staff to coach him up on things that he may be weak on. But that back shoulder throw is just unmatched. And this accuracy and just being able to drive the ball where he needs to lead the receiver to get his the yards after the catch. I think he's really slept on a lot because of his slender build. And that's why you coach him up, though. And that's why you also have the best facilities in the world in the NFL that these guys can train in. These guys can get the right nutrition, the right conditioning coaching. So all those are just excuses. I think that guy is going to be a baller. And if the Falcons can get him, oh man, you want to talk about butts in the seats on Sunday.
Always.
You definitely would get it with a guy like Jaden Daniels.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. It's great to have somebody like A1 here talking Falcons football with us. He does open the doors and show Falcon fans that there's different avenues and different possibilities that the Falcons can go, not just taking a quarterback in the free agency and just taking a Dallas Turner at 8. You possibly could slide up to 2 or 4 and make some moves. Bo, do you hear what A1 just said? If you want to just follow up with that on crazy draft scenarios and what the Falcons could possibly do here in the coming weeks.
You talk about crazy. I'm just telling you, the Washington Commanders would be crazy if they traded that pick.
Agreed.
Personally,
Agreed.
there's
Agreed.
no
with you.
fucking nothing that
Agreed.
anybody can offer
Mhm.
Dan Quinn that should have him get up out of that pick.
Mhm.
You
Agreed.
got your hand in one of the top 3 quarterbacks, which is probably gonna be either Jaden or Drake May, whichever they feel. But I'm here to tell you though, all these teams aren't just like not answering the phone.
Mhm.
Okay, they're hearing all the bullshit.
Mhm.
They're hearing, getting all the calls. Everybody, hey, we'll give you Titans are calling. Hey, we'll give you 7 for 7 and Hopkins or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like they're hearing all the bullshit. Okay, like it's just happening. Okay, you gotta do your due diligence. Even if they're like 99.99% sure they're gonna keep it, they still hear people out. That's just the nature of the business. I would only think that's how you would do business. I ain't in the office, but I'm guessing.
Still got to pick up the phone.
But I mean, they could, in some crazy way, they do decide to trade it. It's got to be a Ricky Williams type deal. If y'all know what I'm talking about, I ain't talking about. I'm talking about Ricky Williams from the Saints to whoever.
Well, we know Terry's not going to do that.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, we're not trading the fucking farm. I don't think it'd be the idea of us trading the farm of anything in this draft. We'll let it be what it be. I could see number 4. I could see the Cardinals fielding offers. Like A1 made a great point. The Cardinals are booty cheeks ass.
Team,
They are bad. They're bad, and Marvin Harris will not save them. It will help Kyler, and they can put up points and stats together, but that defense is still terrible. So if somebody would overpay for 4, I'm sure they wouldn't mind trading down. And there's plenty. Did y'all watch the combine? There's a million receivers in this draft. I mean, God,
it's
much
talent
in this draft.
Period in this draft.
There's speed to
every level.
Route running with speed. Oh my God. I was like, I dream of a class like this. I knew this class was deep, but after seeing the combine, it's so deep. You're gonna get starters at the 3rd round receivers. You're gonna get starters. You're gonna get, oh my gosh.
In which to Terry, we saw DeMarco Hellams even get a lot of playing time last year. He was your late round pick. So you're looking at a draft class for the Falcons where Terry's going to use these guys. I mean, he's big on draft too as well. And you got, like you said, Bodie, there's a bunch of star talent coming out in this draft this year. And I mean, to give up so many picks to go after one guy when you're missing out on so much gems in this group right now. Chase, you've talked about it too as well on your channel. When it comes to this draft scenario, we're trying to skip over the free agency, but if you have to use the free agency to help your draft scenario or your crazy draft scenario, then you can do that too as well, because maybe we might snag a quarterback in the free agency and then we might go pass rusher. But just your thoughts, Chase, on any crazy draft scenarios the Falcons could be a part of on draft day.
Man, it's so early. It's just so early. There's so much that could happen. I want to say, don't be surprised maybe if we look at some guards, some top-ranked tackles that are up top. You got a Jake Matthews, a guard that's going to be, or a tackle that's getting pretty up there in age. So you maybe look for a spot to fill there. That's obviously if you hit what you needed to hit in free agency. Pass rusher, Dallas Turner, that'd be sweet. I would think maybe if you go get the vet route quarterback, maybe you don't go get the free agency target. Maybe you bring in a receiver through the draft. We've seen Terry; he likes to get targets early in the draft. With Bijan, Kyle Pitts, a lot of people were highly against Kyle Pitts at 4, and it happened. Anything could happen in the draft, man. It may be another year of offense, and it could be the defensive move. But I think the craziest thing you could see draft night is if the Atlanta Falcons were to select a tackle. I think fans would be crazy outright. I think fans would go crazy.
I'd like to add to that real quick.
Oh, go ahead. No, go around the table. Let's go.
I'll just say, if a Joe Alt is at 8,
that's a dog.
That's every player, Chase. Every player in the top 10 is a dog. Like, you're not missing out on anybody right now.
Yeah.
Joe Alt is being compared to Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, man, I think Joe Alt will be a Hall of Famer. And I know that's bold to say because he hasn't even played a snap, hasn't played a down, but man, that guy has the makeup. and seeing him. I checked him out in the combine today, and the guy he can move well. He can move really well. Had a decent 40 time. The guy is 6'8", I believe. Would have a size 11 hand. Like what? Like what? Like,
it was my first mock draft
With
selection.
Smitty and Berto a lot. You talking about like Smitty and Berto too as well. It's like I have the crew over here on the podcast just with A.
Oh yeah, man. You know they with me right now. You already
always,
know.
man.
You're already with me in spirit. Always.
Y'all
the
keep
bros,
it real,
man.
Y'all
Shout out to
real.
95 North, man. Sports machine forever.
Shout out to them.
Already know, man. The bros, man. Real quick, man. I know Terry. I don't want to cut Terry short though. I'm gonna let Terry go, and then I got a crazy scenario that I've been thinking about.
Let's do it
the whole time, man. I'm gonna go ahead, Terry, and get your point out real quick though.
Yes, sir. So a couple things. One, edge rushers are getting expensive. You know, I'm seeing reports today that Chris Jones might get $27 million, right? $27 million, which means if you see a modicum of edge rusher talent, it's probably going to go high in the draft. So you could see a scenario where you got 3 quarterbacks that go and then some edge rushers that go before you get to the Falcons at 8. In that scenario, if let's say Dallas Turner is gone, and what's the other guy? Versa, whatever his name.
Jared Verse. That's tough for him to be top 10. I'm looking at him like 10.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. I think Letu would go before Jared.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's say those two are gone. You might end up having to take Joe Alt if he's there at 8. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Ideally, I'd like Turner. I would hope that the Falcons would have their quarterback before the draft. And the reason why is because if you go into the draft needing a quarterback, you have no leverage.
Yes.
You have no leverage. You go to another team, they're going to rake you over the coals. They're gonna rob you because you have no choice, right? So in my mind's eye, if we have our quarterback, then we're good because you can get an edge rusher at that point. You know, I feel better about it. If we don't have our quarterback, now we start to have the conversation of what's going to be available. Because I don't believe Washington. I don't believe, first of all, Dan Quinn is going to trade with Atlanta. I don't care what the GM. I just don't believe that.
Even though he owes us.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that New England is going to trade. And I definitely don't believe that Chicago is going to trade out. So who's left? What are we fighting over? We're talking about
overall.
Dude from Michigan. What's his name? Michigan quarterback.
Oh, JJ McCarthy. It makes
Yeah.
you wonder at that point you get to 4. Do you want to trade up? You might as well just sit at 8 and just get the
and that was where I was going.
Player available.
And that was where I was going.
If you're doing Terry's best player available, there's a shit ton of BPAs on that board
Correct.
at 8.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
He normally does operate like that.
Correct.
He'll take the best player available.
Correct. So if they're not going to be there anyway, why are you even trading up to 4? Right? To me, number one, again, and I know I've stated this, but I hope that we have our quarterback before we get to the draft.
Amen.
Because if not, it's going to be JJ or Penix probably. If
Hey, don't sleep on Penix. I mean, I ain't saying take him at 8. I'm not saying that. No. But he had a wonderful combine, y'all. I mean, he didn't do anything like that. He passed his physicals with flying colors, and he could throw the football, y'all. Like, he had a very accurate deep ball. And if we're talking about pushing the ball down the field, I'm just saying, I'm not saying we're going to take him. I'm just giving him his props, giving him his flowers, because I had some questions about the guy and his arm, and he silenced me yesterday. So
I still do. I still do. I still have questions about Penix, and I don't have an issue if you take him maybe at the bottom of 1. If you can trade back up, I'm not taking him at 8. And
Here's a crazy draft scenario.
A Couple reasons why.
I've seen people talk about we trade up for Penix. I don't even understand that.
If you get a vet free agency and get to day 2 and he's there, I would not mind taking him at day 2.
No, not on day 2. I don't mind at all because I think you could coach him up, but there are a couple of things you got to overcome. Number 1, that's a small frame. Number 2, he has 2 shoulder injuries, not elbow, shoulders. Shoulders don't go away. They don't go away, right? That's number 1. Number 2,
so he can't shoulder lean is what you're saying. He can't shoulder lean.
Goodness. That form against Michigan, I can't get past it. And I know you can coach him up, but I'm unsure about him. I really am. So, but if we go into the draft with no quarterback, that's what it's going to be. Get your mind ready. It's not going to be the Falcons trade up because at that point, everybody's trying to trade up. You got 9, 10, probably 12 teams that need a quarterback. You think they're not going to be trying to trade up too?
Everybody's hungry. Even the teams behind you have to be hungrier than the team ahead of them.
Or if you do trade up, you're probably going to have to include Pitts in the trade.
Caleb McGarry.
It's not
Caleb McGarry.
Who take him? I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that.
Nah, we can't do that because he is an NFL veteran. Yes. And you wouldn't have to coach him up so much.
Arthur Smith will take him.
I mean, the thing about in the run game,
that's a good point. That's a good point. Arthur Smith might take, and no disrespect to Caleb, no disrespect to him, but to me, it seems like he really struggles in the pass block. He really struggles with that.
I mean, if your target is Mekhi Beckham,
cement shoes, man. The man he can't move. He does not have quick feet. And if the thing about it is, if you take the time, I know it's a tall task to ask, but if you take the time to look back at his draft combine, he didn't have quick feet. So he's good in the run game though.
He is. He's very good in the run game.
And I believe that's why he was mostly drafted because he was good in the run game.
Yeah,
that's why Lindstrom was drafted in the first round. They were setting us up for the run. And Terry, I want to go off piggyback just a little bit off of what you were saying about Penix. No, I wouldn't get him at 8, but like Jack was saying, day 2. Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah.
If you have like a Kirk Cousins, and then you have Desmond Ritter's going to be on your roster, and day 2 is there, I wouldn't mind going Penix if he's sitting there.
That's a pig. Yeah, I'm a piggyback off the piggyback.
Piggyback the number.
That's the thing. Yeah, I would go for that. It just we get our veteran. It could be a Russell or Kurt. You know what I'm saying? And then we go day 2
or Fields. Don't forget.
Hey, go ahead, Chase.
It could be Fields. It could very well be.
Really? No, let me not start with you.
We're trying to get through this podcast without talking about the quarterback, guys. As you can see, the topics was not
the quarterbacks at all
friendly today.
I was trying not to do it myself, but we end up getting here. Y'all. Hey,
I gotta hear what you gotta say, A1.
Man, if we want to do this, if we don't want to do this, you know what's gonna happen. If we ask A1 about the quarterback issue, this is an off topic, but it's going to become a topic. A1, do you want to do this?
It will. Why not?
A1, do you want to do this?
Chris, what you got?
The quarterback issue? Do you want to talk about the quarterback?
Yes.
I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just gonna give you this. I'm gonna give y'all this scenario.
Talk about it.
And I'm gonna let y'all take it from there.
Let's go.
All right. So we go ahead and we find some veteran quarterback. Again, I am team young guy, and I'm gonna stand on that. I don't want no retreads or no castaways. But if we cannot, hey man, I'm gonna call it like it is, man. Because at the end of the day, people get certain time in the NFL. We already know it's starting for not for long, no fun league, whatever you want to call it. And you got to produce. You got to produce. I ain't saying that people can't come here and not flourish. I'm not saying that. I just want to go get my guy.
Shade throne.
Yeah, man. I just want to go get my guy, live and die on that hill. If I pick the wrong guy, I'd rather go to bed knowing I picked the wrong guy than taking somebody else's wrong guy and being the wrong guy. I don't know.
Shit, that's a lot of wrong situations to be in.
Yeah, man. It's just situations. I don't want to, with this talent that we have and this team that we have, I feel like our window is not necessarily short, but we need to capitalize
3-4 years.
Yeah. You know, we need to capitalize and everything. So the scenario, we go get one of these quarterbacks. You know, so the Justin Fields, the Russell West, I'm about to say Westbrook. Thinking about basketball, but the Russell Wilson, or even the Kirk Cousins route. Do you guys can see this? Us trading out of that number 8 pick, trading back for more picks. Why? Because this is such a talented draft this year that you could trade back and get more picks for more players.
That's my Jared Verse draft scenario. You get the veteran. I'm with A1. You get the vet quarterback. Dallas Turner's gone. You're not going to get Marvin Harrison. Your quarterbacks are gone because you already know you got your quarterback in free agency. And you trade that 8 and go back to 12 or 13.
You can go back further than that in this
further than that if you can get a Jared Verse. So even what's the kid from Florida State? He might be a mid-late first round too as well. The young man from Florida State that went crazy, Fisk, the other day too as well.
Oh yeah, Brendan Fisk. Brendan
Fisk. So there's a
my
possibility. It's a possibility. That's a good take,
A1.
That's a good take, A1. But you didn't say the quarterback you wanted. So we can play a game of
quarterback that I want is Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, he said Jaden.
Like I said last
now,
year,
you're going
young guy, and that's my particular quarterback that I particularly want. Now I'll take Drake May because he has great tangibles, and I'll take Justin Fields if he comes to Atlanta because I'm not. The thing about it is, if you rooted for Desmond Ridder, ain't no way you can dare turn a nose up at Justin Fields. I mean, I'm just saying.
Let's be real.
I'm just saying. I'm like
3-year vet though. 3-year
I
vet.
understand he's been in the league longer.
Come on.
But with this offense and what he's possibly could be capable of in this offense, you can't really turn your nose up at that if they go that route. They just figured that was the best route for them, for the brand. And at the end of the day, I'm for the brand. You know, so this Falcon that's on this hat. So we can all have our preferences, and that's what makes this all fun. We have our preferences, but at the end of the day, we want the winners down here. That's all I want, winners.
And as a content creator, you're comfortable with talking about any quarterback the Falcons get. It could be JJ McCarthy, it could be Michael Penix. Like when you turn on your podcast, you're ready to talk about how we can win on your end, right? A1?
Right, indeed, always.
Falcon fans
always talking about how we can win because the thing about it, we got to set ourselves up to be able to win though. We got to make the right decisions. And to me, I just feel like Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, and Kirk Cousins is not the long time winning solution. I feel like one of these guys that's coming out of this draft, and we talk about the top 3 quarterbacks, but we can have scenarios to where those next tier quarterbacks like the Penix, the McCarthys, the Bo Nix, you know, so even Leary from Kentucky because he impressed. So I'm guys out there that you can go get. It doesn't.
That's the future of the NFL right there. Yep.
Right. It doesn't necessarily have to be one of those top guys, and a lot of guys stated their case to be day 1, day 2 type of guys. Man, it's options, and that's what makes this so funny. Like Chase said earlier, it's so early, y'all. This is so early, man. We could by the end of next week we could have a quarterback, and this changes up our whole conversation now.
That is true.
And look,
that is true. And I think you're looking at 14-day window right here, Bodie, as we get ready to go to you. 14-day window for me for the Falcons. A quarterback's going to be here shortly. Bodie?
I'll say this because you almost made me forget what I was going to say because you had to say that.
Shit.
I'll say this. So, it is a short, the Justin Fields thing with or even the veteran thing, like you were speaking, all the veterans. Yeah. I say Justin Fields is probably the best of the bottom part of that. Of course, I want a youngster. I agree with you, A1. I want a youngster that we can just bring in here, bring him in our system and turn and see what happens. Go with it. Let's do it. Justin Fields does feel like a retread. If you would have saw those elite intangibles from him in Chicago, despite the trash ass team he's on, then that would make somebody excited. And even then, if you would have saw those elite intangibles in Chicago, then they wouldn't be picking at 1 and stand at 1 and more than likely picking Caleb Williams. So that I get that too. And ain't too many reclamation projects done came if a guy been with a team and then they give up on him and then he goes to another team and just turns into this big ass star, this guy. So I understand what you're saying, A1. I understand how you feel, Chase. Okay. I get
Not everybody's a Kurt Warner.
Yeah, not everybody can do that. Not everybody can. I'll even go and say
a lot of Tony
Ryan
Romo's in the game, though.
And I even say Romo. I even say Ryan Tannehill, because Tannehill wasn't all that in Miami, and he came to Tennessee, and with that run game, he did become something. That's not a everyday occurrence. So I get that. I get trying to get your guy, but if you can't get one of those top three guys, I would think I would be okay. The next thing would probably be trying to get or try to mold this guy into something, because he's still young. He's a year older than Penix? Just a year.
Yeah.
And there's something to be worked with there. Like, it's a possibility. More so than Russell Wilson, who is a winner and has won, except in Denver. And and Kirk Cousins. Yeah. And Kirk Cousins, of course. So that's my take on that. I mean, Justin Fields is, he's still a young guy. Is my argument with that. But you haven't seen no superstar flash off the. I mean, you've seen small traits of it. Man did run for 1,000 yards as a quarterback in this league on a trash ass team. So, I mean, you've seen some of it, but like nothing to be like, oh, he is going to be the next Lamar Jackson. So I get that.
Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit the subscribe button. Quickly, we want to go to Terry and Chase about the quarterback issue, because every day things change here. Terry, we talked to John Freaky the other day from 92.9. Big shout out to John Freaky too as well, and then big shout out to Big Low Country Sports, who was also on our Friday breakfast with One Time for the Fan. It's great to have journalists come talk to us here and tell us what they think about the Falcons, because John Freaky is a guy who spends a lot of time talking to Atlanta Falcon fans. He's been a diehard journalist and a fan for over 30-something years. But hearing his conversation, Terry, about you might not be able to get this Russell Wilson June 1st, waiting after the free agency, waiting after the draft to get to June 1st, where the Broncos might screw you over or another team might screw you over, doesn't put you in a position to have your guy, which is why he believes a Fields move may be possible. But Terry, you're hearing the rumors now. The combine rumors of Cousins, even Baker Mayfield's name somewhere got dropped somewhere around here in this situation, the Justin Fields situation, then Russell Wilson, the draft guys. Your thoughts about the quarterback situation? Because every day things happen that changes how we look at the quarterback situation. But what is your thoughts, Terry?
Yes, I definitely think there's something to the field situation. Now, with that being said, there are, entities in football who will use a situation as a stalking horse. So I don't know, let's say I'm Chicago and I really don't like Atlanta's deal, but I'm really not getting much traction. Well, I just throw it out there that, we're close to a trade, and now maybe somebody else who needs a quarterback panics and they give me more of what I want.
Like the Deshaun Watson Browns Falcons situation, when the Browns jumped in towards the late, the Saints and the Falcons were battling, then the fucking Browns come out of nowhere. I hear what you're saying, Terry.
Nowhere. Correct. And I'm not saying that's the case here. I'm just saying this is the type of year when it happens, or this is the time of year when it happens. So it could be that. It could be, usually where there's smoke, there's fire. And to be honest with you, I've heard conversations of the Falcons trying to get Justin Fields for a couple of years now, not just
every offseason.
So,
the media pushing a quarterback to Atlanta since Matt Ryan left. So let's put that in play too as well.
Correct.
Pushing the Atlanta boy.
Yeah. Right.
So you already know.
Right. And honestly, with the exception of Pittsburgh, I'm not really hearing too many other teams associated with Fields. So they're well, yeah, you hear it, but not to the extent you do Atlanta, right?
Nobody tops Atlanta with Justin Fields.
Correct. So, I think there's something to it. Will it come to fruition? Don't know. I feel like you need to make a move before the draft, because again, guys, there are a bunch of teams. There are 32 teams in the NFL, right? 30% of them need quarterbacks. At least 10, 11, 12. Somebody's going to be left out there. Somebody is not going to get their free agent. Somebody is not going to get their draft, which means those who do not get the free agents that they're trying to get are going to be desperate. I think the draft is going to be the Wild Wild West, guys. I think it is. I think it's going to be I think this will be one of the more interesting drafts we've seen in a while, because those who do not get their quarterbacks will be desperate.
Clint Eastwood Wild Wild West or Will Smith Wild Wild West? Which one are we talking about?
Hey, man, I'm gonna go with both. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna add a little go ahead. Hey, yeah. And I'm gonna add a little go ahead punk, make my day to it. You know what I mean? All of it.
There you go.
All of it. You know, those are just my thoughts. Chase, what do you have?
Chase, you know what's going on with the quarterback issue. You talk about a lot in the chat, talk about a lot with Dirty Fanatics United. This is an off topic. We did not decide to try to go here, but we're going to go here. Yeah. I know we all want to win, Chase, but your thoughts day to day as this quarterback issue plays out.
Okay, let's talk a little about our first new head OC, the guy that's calling the plays this year. The new scheme will be running. If we're looking at that, who to you guys in free agency, who do you guys in the draft as well, who fits that offensive scheme the LA Rams have used the last 2 years?
A pocket passing
quarterback. Kirk Cousins.
A Kirk Cousins, a Drake May,
Kirk Cousins.
May possibly
even a Baker Mayfield.
Even a Baker Mayfield.
Even a Baker Mayfield. I'm sorry. So if we're talking about possibilities and maybes, the Atlanta Falcons could go a multiple of routes. If we're talking about my favorite guy, personally, I think you make a trade for a young rookie, but I don't think it happens draft night. I think this is something you've set down with the organization, something that if this happens, you've planned through this whole all season. A trade will be made before the draft starts, so you know for sure where you're at. If you have 9 total people, that's a true fact. 9 people need a quarterback. You're going to make that trade before draft night happens. You can't go in the draft without having everything in order. If you go into the draft, you got your receiver 2, you went and got that pass rusher, best believe the Atlanta Falcons will trade up from 8 before they enter draft night. Maybe they stay at 8. I mean, there's rumors linked to J.J. McCarthy in Atlanta at 8. It's been going around for quite a while now, so don't be too surprised if the Atlanta Falcons were to draft J.J. McCarthy. Now, with that being said, am I J.J. McCarthy pro? No, I don't. I didn't like the combine. I didn't like the arm strength. And I feel like the accuracy wasn't where it needed to be a top 10 pick in the draft.
He missed a few throws, to say that.
Agreed. A few steps on those throws too as well. His footing was kind of all over the place. Yep.
So agreed. I mean, and then we talked a little bit about Penix too. Penix is a guy that could have drove his draft stock up if teams want to take the chance on the injuries the guy's had. You talk about his shoulder injuries, but he's also had a knee injury as well. So this guy's been banged up pretty well throughout his college career. I believe he had 3 season-ending injuries, and then he transferred over to Washington and had that solid, healthy year. So Michael Penix is coming off of 1 solid, healthy year. To me, that's not a pick you make at 8. I was a little nervous with the Drake London move because of the ankle injury coming out of college, only playing 1 or 2 years of football. I was a little shaky about that. I'm not an NFL draft scout, but I don't see Penix at 8. I don't see JJ at 8. I think if the Atlanta Falcons are really going to draft a quarterback, you see a trade happen before the NFL draft.
Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. This is what we do it for. And we're in here talking Falcons football with all the content creators and Falcon fans. Falcons fan talk like this. It's exciting for all the fans in the chat because we have a bunch of people in here who want to win. And I think everybody in this chat, from people that live out of town and live in Atlanta, when we win the Super Bowl, they're going to be in Atlanta for the parade because it's all about winning here. From Dave to Joseph Avery to JC Tornado, Padres in the chat, Michael's in the chat, Manuel McFarland. Let's get to some comments before we get to our last topic here for the night. I know Dave's in the chat. He said, with all due respect, I know I'm itching to contribute financially to all of you guys' separate platforms because I know you guys also travel to games. I would love to help with that. Dave, we got some Rise Up Tour information coming up at the end of the podcast. So if you want to travel to a game this year, let us know, man. We'll be able to assist with that too as well. Hey, man, we got to get you on the road, man. We got to get you on the road, man.
Hey, man, I'm for it, man. I'll graduate this summer, man, so I have some more free time. I definitely haven't been anywhere lately. Nowhere that I really just wanted to go. You have those trips. You be like, oh, I'm just gonna get away for the weekend, but you plan me something, a nice little trip, and wouldn't mind involving some Falcon football in it.
New Orleans.
Saying, hey man, I actually want to go to that
headquarter takeover right there, Chase. You've been through that.
Yeah, man. I actually want to go to that Denver game. I think that's going to be interesting atmosphere. Just so just being out there on the West Coast, just period. I believe that's going to be a good time. Yeah, we'll talk about that though, man.
We will. Rise up to our members in the chat. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Season ticket holders, drop your section in the chat. What section are you repping? We know we got some Dirty Bird Nest members in here. Got some Club and Suite members in here too as well. Founding members. So hit that. It's going down in a major way. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. We'll go around with a quick hot take because there's a lot of questions in the chat. Bodie, quick question to you. How y'all fellas be? What about Helms at strong safety? He is more aggressive than Richie Grant, or is he too light or not experienced enough? Go Falcons. Bodie, your quick hot take on DeMarco Helms this season at strong safety.
From what I'm hearing, with guys looking at Helms or whatnot, he's a good at his spot. He's good at his spot. I think he'd be a great third safety, other than a starting safety. I mean, he's shown up. He has been there and he's done his job. And but I think that I'm not gonna say he lacks things, but I believe that he is good at his spot. His slot right now is his best thing. I believe we will draft a safety or sign one that'll start eventually. I do like Helms though. Helms will be an excellent third safety for us personally.
Possible. A1, quick hot take to you. What about Helms at strong safety? Does he think he could get that starting role this year? I know with Richie Grant, the snap count changed toward the end of the season with Arthur Smith and what they had going on. A lot of talks about maybe they could draft a safety. There's a good amount of safeties going through the free agency in a couple weeks, couple days. Your thoughts on Helms?
Helms, I like him to be like more like being a part of maybe like a 2-5, a 2-5-3. So that's it. And I honestly want him to fly around, man. I like for him to fly around, and I believe he can take the starting position. Richie Grant is not a threat to him to take that starting position. I don't even know if Richie is going to be here next season. It's a possibility if you look at the contract, but I don't see him here, man. I don't see Richie Grant here. But the topic is Helms. And I believe that Helms could definitely be a starting safety. I believe he has the possibility to do that. He just got to get that coverage down pat. As long as he gets that, because I know we did have a few plays down the stretch, it's trying to stretch of the season to where you was like, man, Helms, and everything. But it's just not many, but just a few that just lets you know that, hey, he's still learning the NFL game speed, still learning the coverages, so he can be able to still be that thumper. I want him to be that thumper for the defense, and he could possibly be there. And we could still go bring in a safety, man. I still wouldn't mind having a Jordan Filler. I still wouldn't mind drafting a guy out of this draft because, again, it is so much talent in this draft. It's so much talent in this draft. You almost look at some of the veterans like, if you asking for too much, I'm really going to go get one of these.
Younger you.
It's that type of draft, y'all. Like, honestly, I'm going to be real with y'all. This draft, as far as receivers go, I wouldn't even sign a receiver. I go draft me 2 or 3 guys.
I draft 3 of them.
Yep.
Right. I draft me 2 or 3
get
of these
the
guys.
one vet for your 2, and I think you can build that the rest of the squad for your young guys, man. Like, come on.
It's too much talent in this draft. Too many guys running 4.3s, 4.21, and you seen Xavier Worthy 4.21 owning the combine. You got a guy like that. You got Ladd McConkey out there. You got man, it's so many guys out there on both sides of the ball.
Thomas from LSU. Yeah,
man, Thomas. I've been banging the drum for Thomas for about a month now. When we first started, me and Smitty and Berto, we was talking about giving some ideas of some guys, and I've been on Thomas. Brian Thomas from the get-go. My dream scenario is to actually some kind of way get a Jalen Daniels and bring in Thomas because those two are familiar with each other. And honestly, it wouldn't take them too long to, I believe, grasp the NFL level because they have camaraderie, they have chemistry. you have to have that. And I believe if you bring in two guys that have played together, we've already seen it, Burrow and Chase. I'm just saying, like, we can see it again with those guys. You see, as a big guy, he's bigger. He's like 44 pounds heavier than Xavier Worthy and taller than Worthy, and still ran a 4.3. I want y'all to think about that for a second. He's heavier and taller, but still ran a 4.3. So I'm just saying, like, a guy like that. Let me see. I'm trying to think of another guy, Isaiah Leggett. I'm trying to think
AD Mitchell.
Yes, sir.
I was just about to get to AD Mitchell. I really like AD Mitchell a lot. I was telling Smitty and Berto, I said, man, this guy deserves to be a Falcon. I was like, this guy, man, has it. He has it, man. He has the hands. He has some speed as well. It's just so, this draft, like we just said, man, this draft is so loaded. You can go get you some guys. Like, I'm getting excited just thinking about how deep this draft is. You don't have to overpay guys. Yeah. I understand that, you know, I said, hey, I'm been team veteran. I really like vets over rookies because they're more polished, especially if you're talking about an edge rusher, a tackle, or something like that, unless he's just a world beater like a Joe Ott and like a few other guys who raised their stock in this draft. But guys, come on, man. This wide receiver thing, you do not have to overpay anybody from the wide receiver role. You can go ahead and possibly, if you have your quarterback in place, if you do make those moves like T. Will was saying, and go get your quarterback and before the draft, you could possibly do that scenario and trade back and possibly get a few of these guys and get them down here with this offense. Get a few of those guys that's on defense, those corners, those safeties, and not overpay guys. This is that deep. It's that deep.
This is why we have A1 on the podcast. That's a podcaster right there. That is a content creator, a man that knows his Falcons football. Because even if you're looking at that situation, let's just say you do make the trades for Fields and you trade your second and third and maybe a conditional fourth on the line. Let's just say you move that 8th pick to like 13, 14, 15. Now you've picked back up the picks that you may need. Another team may say, you know what, Falcons, we'll take that 8. We'll give you.
Imagine if you get further though, Jack.
Yeah.
Imagine if you take that 8th overall pick. We're talking about crazy scenarios. Imagine you find someone that wants to be in the 20s. That
maybe the Steelers wanted that 18, 19. Yep.
You know, what if somebody in the 20s want to move up similar to how we did years ago when we got Julio? That is that deep of a draft to where you possibly could make a move like that if you just like a guy that much, or you could just sit there and be tight. But this draft is deep enough to where you could trade back if you want to, if you wanted to. Still team Jaden Daniels, standing on that. But if you want to, you could trade back, get multiple picks, and man, you could still be set, guys. You could still be set.
Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. Head into the comments. Padre, what's good, fellas? Jack, can you tell Chase it don't take 3 weeks to get some screws? This bathroom ain't done in the next 30 days. He can kiss the Home Depot contractor status goodbye. God, Chase, you still working on the status?
Chase, what's up,
I've been
brother?
busy, bro. I got a pregnant old lady. My baby's still under a year old. I got a lot going on, Padre. You got to get Bodie on the bathroom, though.
Doing some remodeling work over there? Padre, it's great to have you on the podcast. Serious question. Terry, quick, would you be mad if we take Penix at 8?
Yes.
You be mad?
Yes, I would. Yes. Well, I wouldn't be mad, but I wouldn't. I just think if Penix is your guy, you should be able to trade back to at least 15 and get it. You know, like if you're just dead set on Penix, then you know, hey, give me 3 more picks for this draft, right? Give me. So if you're going from 15 to 8, give me obviously give me your 15. Give me your second, and your 4th, and maybe one next year. Give me some picks. I don't see. And again, no disrespect to Penix, I just don't see him being a pick at 8. I don't.
Chase, I'd be sitting there. Bodie, go, Bodie.
Yeah, I'm going. I'd be pissed. No. That's just a misallocation of funds. Okay. No. Hell no. I mean, let's be real. We saw the footwork. when he get pressure in his face, of course
Correct.
he threw dimes at the combine.
Yes.
But
Yes.
nobody rushing him.
Yes.
He has to learn.
Thank
He
you.
needs to
Thank
get his
you.
ass
Bodie,
down. He
Bodie,
needs to
say
sit
that
down.
again. Say that again.
All that pressure he got in the championship
Say
game,
that again, Bodie.
that man looked flustered. It was ugly. And I'm not
He
just saying
did.
it was
He did.
bad.
Right. Hey, Bodie, I'm going to interject for a second. I had an
Go ahead.
argument with my brother, BLB, Big Little Bro.
Yeah.
We had an argument about Penix because he was like, oh, man, Penix is great. I was like, did you see that game? Did you see the pressure? Did you? And we had so thank you for saying that, because to quote Mike Tyson, everybody has a plan until you get hit in the mouth.
Hit in the mouth. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Hey, I could go in the backyard and throw for 300 yards against, I don't know, my mama, but you put me up against real NFL competition, it's a little different.
Hold on,
That's
shout out to
okay.
Moms. You can't disrespect Mom's game. You acting like you finna just rack up yards on Mom's.
That pick six, you gonna be mad.
Cold. You finna throw 300 on Mom's, bro?
When she start high stepping on you, I'm just gonna be looking at you like,
she knew what it was when she came out there. It's competition.
Yeah.
That's how she raised you. It's her fault.
Trying to
But
win, right?
no.
Oh my
don't get
gosh.
picked out.
Hey.
That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
Hit that like, share, subscribe button. Chase, he's sitting there draft night. Michael Penix's name's called at 8. I'm sure you're gonna get up and walk out the podcast. How's that gonna look, Chase? What's gonna happen there?
Michael Penix at 8, man. I don't see it happening.
Chase
Now let's say Michael Penix finished the year off correct and played a decent game against Michigan. Then we're talking about Michael Penix Jr. at 8. If Michael Penix finishes off that year strong and solidifies that game, Penix is at 8. So I think if you look at Penix and you have that one bad game, maybe there is somebody out there that would take Penix at 8, but it won't be the Dirty Birds. I don't think the Atlanta Falcons make that move at 8.
I'll tell you,
I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater on Penix. I like Penix. He's got the talent, and he can possibly be another Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson in the NFL in a couple years. But the Falcons need it now, man. We need it now.
Yeah,
right.
Falcons fans.
Real quick, I'll say this. When I saw CJ Stroud play last year, how he played the best defense in college football. It wasn't. No, that was the year before. But damn near the close best defense college football has in Georgia. He dined us up. He carved us up.
Gave us the business.
Oh my God.
Gave us the business.
I said after that game, he should go first.
Absolutely.
Carolina's trading up. When they traded up early as a motherfucker, I said they're going to get CJ. CJ is him. I said this shit before the draft last year. And
that's a rattler over Penix. Hell yeah.
And that's the crazy thing. Oh yeah,
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, Spencer. I wasn't big on him, but Spencer got some intangibles that I didn't realize he had, because I'm getting more back into college football and everything. Like this season was the season. So Spencer, man, he got some intangibles, y'all. Like, I'll take him over Penix. I really would.
Some say he's the next Patrick Mahomes.
Spencer played good in big games. I'll say that. He played good in big games in college. I watched a lot of college.
I mean, his team was kind of decimated too.
His team was poop.
He kept playing.
He was rallying. So Spencer got that dog in him. So he's something to watch for.
Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button.
Man, got the right idea.
You got content creators all over the place. You got A1 over here. He's streaming too as well. You have Dirty Fanatics United. This is great when we do panels like this. We get a chance to hear from Falcon fans. The chat is live. The chat is lit. It's so much going on here. We still have one more topic about some free agents before we do this Rise Up Tour giveaway. I know Falcon fans are in the chat that love to travel to away games. Our Rise Up Tour travel group. We have a giveaway we're going to be doing tonight too as well. Emmanuel McFarland said A1 is standing on business, man. Standing on business.
Team young guy.
Standing on business. Shout out Drewski, man. JC Tornado said Fields or Wilson over Cousins. Quick take, anybody? Fields or Wilson over Cousins?
Neither over Cousins.
You go Cousins.
I'll take them both over Cousins because of the price. I'll take them both over Cousins because of the price. Yeah, I'll take them. Sure will.
That money. Yeah, that money. The real reason. See, now let's just be honest, though, T. Will.
Are we worried about the money or the injury?
If Cousins never got hurt, we wouldn't be talking about the money.
Yeah,
exactly.
He would still be there.
Exactly.
Yeah, because before the Achilles injury, was hoping that we could trade for
90 million
Cousins at the trade deadline or something. I was hoping we could throw
here's what you got to ask yourself. If we sign Kirk Cousins and nobody else, are we good enough to win a Super Bowl?
Oh, that would absolutely not happen. Absolutely not happen.
Right. So if we sign Kirk Cousins at the price that he wants $45 million. Some folks are going to have to get cut. Some deals are going to have to be redone. And you're probably not going to get the product on defense that you had last year.
But guess what? Here now you insert that scenario because you don't win and got your Kirk Cousins, right? You don't pay him his $40 million. Yeah, I'm against it. I am against that. But you paid him your $40 million. Well, guess what? It's time to get rid of that 8th overall pick because we need draft picks. And this draft again is deep. That's where you're going to have to build your team. You're going to have to build your team through the draft. You can forget about the free agency. Maybe you can get a few small pieces here and there, you know, be strategic with the money, but you're going all out in the draft. You're going all out to accumulate capital. You may see guys that you don't want to leave this team if you sign.
You would have to.
I don't mean to interrupt you. But Chase, you talk about building through the draft, and you look at what Terry's done the past 2 years building through the draft. How many players did Terry draft last year that started on the defense before the season was over with?
Indeed,
near all of them. Just about all of them. So exactly, and Terry's done nothing but cook since he's came here, and I kind of rock with what A1's talking about over here with trading back, getting extra draft picks. If you do get the vet Russell Wilson or the vet Kirk Cousins, because let's be for real, we're paying maybe if Russell don't take the vet minimum, we're paying a decent amount for a vet Russell Wilson as well in Atlanta. So definitely could rock with the draft scenario A1's talking about.
Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit the subscribe button. Just want to go ahead and give our thoughts and prayers out to Chris Mortensen. As a podcaster, as a guy who wants to be in that journalism field, A1, you're in that field too as well. Chase, Bodie, Terry. This is someone that, you know, from reporting to being a family man too as well. And of course, you know, for the love of the game, man, this guy was a fan at the end of the day. Like it doesn't matter if it was the Falcons he was reporting on or any team. He did his job, and he's an outstanding individual, man. And it's sad to see that at 72 years old, Chris Mortensen is no longer here with us. But from one time for the fan, I'm guessing A1 too as well. Of course, 30 Fanatics United. Our hats go off. Our thoughts and prayers up to the Mortensen family.
Yeah.
Also, real quick too, man, I want to give a shout out to the family of a local content creator that we all know, and that's Big Low Country, man. Unfortunately, he lost his grandmother. And I want to say, personally, from me, A1 forever, I'm pretty sure I can speak for you guys as well, as our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family, man. Big Low, you know, reach out to any one of us if you need anything. So yes, RIP to Chris Mortensen, but also RIP to Big Low Country's grandmother, man. I'm so sorry that happened, man, and I really hope that you bounce back and continue to be the Big Low that we know. And I'm pretty sure that, you know, she would definitely appreciate that too. Just, you know, salute to you and prayers are with you, brother.
Man, we was in Tennessee for the Falcons Titans game, and we had the party the night before with the Rise Up tour. We had an amazing time. I called Country the Sunday morning. I said, "Yo, what's up? What section are you at? I'm getting ready to come over and say what's up." He said, "Man, I'm driving back to Atlanta, man. Gotta go take care of grandma." I said, "Bro," I didn't even want to ask the second question. I said, "Man, you go do your thing, bro." Like, it was just like if he was up there in Tennessee to go, you know, to the game and have a good time and everything. But when family calls, Country was there. He didn't give a damn about that game. He drove right back to Atlanta for the family. That's a family man, man. I respect Country. I talked to him this morning. So once again, thoughts and prayers go out to Big Low Country and his family too as well in that situation that they're dealing with. Falcon fans here in the chat, you can hit that like, share, and subscribe button. A1, we don't want to keep you too long here. It's so many people here in the chat that want to know more about you too as well. I'm guessing you're gonna have a podcast later on this week. And you got to work with Berto and of course Smitty too as well. What is your social media so we can all follow you and find out what you got going on too as well, A1?
Well, you can check me out on Twitter, X, whatever Elon wants to call it. On that platform, Instagram, at A1 Forever. Also, of course, you know, the platform on YouTube is A1 Forever Sports. We'll be, You know, so shout out to A1 Forever Sports, as we are the show that's cooler and fly too, and we don't settle for less because you can always have more with a vision and be generational, because it's always time to be working on my presidential campaign, y'all.
I love it.
I hear that.
A1. You got my vote.
I hear it.
You guys, you know, also TikTok, man. I drop videos on TikTok too, man. Little highlight videos of the real A1 Forever. You already know, man. It's not the 3, not the 2. It's AUNO.
Hey,
All
A1,
right.
quickly, last topic before we get up out of here, and then we'll do this quick giveaway. Free agents. What free agent is on your mind? Chase will go around to you next, then Bodie and Terry. What free agent has you sitting here like, you know what? If we get this guy, he can definitely do some damage for us. Or maybe it's a couple of guys that we're looking at. We've already got through, you know, this quarterback issue we talked about tonight and some other things that we've discussed. But free agents, what is on the mind of A1?
Free agents. One of the first guys I think the Atlanta Falcons should go ahead and sign Nate Landman.
Yes.
Sign
Yes.
Nate Landman. That's who you sign. You sign a guy who was stellar for you last year, and go ahead and get him out the way before you even touch anybody else's a former player, a disgruntled player, anything like that. Go ahead and take care of Nate Landman, man. He deserves his money. And I would love for tomorrow if I see Falcons re-sign Nate Landman.
Yep. And budget free.
That right there would make my day.
Chase, so many re-signs that the Falcons can do coming up this week. And New Zeal just got re-signed today. And then, of course, the free agency is going to open up in a matter of days. So to you, Chase, what free agent are you looking at? I know you got a lot going on with DFU. Y'all over there chatting in the chat. What's up, man? What you got going on? I know you got a podcast coming up. I don't want you to give away any inside information, Chase, but what free agent have you been looking at that you think would be a good fit here in Atlanta? Could be one or two guys.
I got a couple. A1 hit dead on with Nate Landman. That's a solid pick there. Obviously, you'd like to re-sign him before anybody else. And you can look at Bud Dupree as well. That's another guy I could think you bring in here, another one-year deal. L'Jarius Sneed, somebody we could put at the cornerback position. That's a big name there. I don't know what that price will carry. But another guy that people may not be so big on that I haven't heard anybody talk about, a linebacker actually is pretty veteran here in the NFL, and he sometimes play on the edge more than he does linebacker. But Javon Clowney, a guy that's got 9.5 sacks, 9.5 sacks last year, could be a cheap free agent signing you get if you go get that vet Kirk Cousins or Russell Wilson, a guy that you could bring here to the defense to hopefully plug and play with the new 3-4 defense under Jimmy Lake. So there's a couple of guys, man. I mean, you could go through Brian Burns, Christian Wilkinson. I mean, obviously the number 1 pick, Chris Smith. I mean, there's so many people, or Chris Jones. There's so many people in this free agency that, and free agency is really going to tell what happens in draft, man. So, just a little short answer. That's a couple people that you can look at.
Terry, free agency is coming up. Got a couple pieces you need to fill. We talked about pass rushing. We talked about wide receivers. You never know what they can add with the depth of the offensive line and defensive line. But the free agency is deep this year, Terry. What we got, man? What's going on over there in the mind of Terry?
I got a crush. Give me Danielle Hunter. Give me Danielle Hunter.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Which is, again, why I don't want Cousins, because I know I'm going to spin a grip on Danielle. I'll take some of that Jerry Sneed action. Yeah. I'll take some of that. I'll definitely take some of the Nate Landman.
Over here, somebody's saying that Sneed's going to be franchise tag, so that may be.
Yeah, I can see that.
They still may trade him.
More news is coming out as we're doing this podcast. Yes, news is coming out.
But the thing about it is that tag, I believe, is around 19 mil. You like that?
Well, let me tell you what. I like it. I like it better. I like it better than 45. For a 36-year-old quarterback coming off an Achilles. I like it a whole lot better. Oh, man, I love it in comparison to that.
I don't like Sneed. I think Sneed is just a player who was put in the great situation of Spagnuolo's defense. I believe that Spagnuolo puts him in the right situations, and I believe he is a good player. I do. But I don't believe bringing him in right now on 19, let's say a 19 million tag. I don't want to do that, because what kind of let's say message? Yeah, what kind of message am I sending to AJ Terrell and the rest of the Falcon locker room who's been here?
Are you keeping AJ if you bring L'Jarius in?
Yes.
So
Oh,
that means you're pretty much going to be paying around 40 mil for 2 corners.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, I look. All I'm saying is, I like L'Jarius Sneed. He showed up big in the Super Bowl. Showed up big in the playoffs. He could be a system guy. I'm not gonna. There's merit to that, right? But he's a big play guy, and we need big play guys on defense. And you don't necessarily have to sign him. I'm just saying, if there's a world in which you could have both he and AJ, I'm here for it. If there's a world where you can, that's really why I'd like an economically feasible quarterback, because my mindset is we've got most of the tools we need on offense, with the exception of a couple of receivers. Maybe you sign one, maybe you draft another, maybe you bring a couple back from last year, i.e. Scotty Miller or what's his name that was with the Rams or whatever. And you're good, but you spend your money on defense, right? Because let's be real, Kansas City's defense won that Super Bowl last year, guys. Kansas City's defense, not their offense,
better team.
Their defense. They took on the best defense in Baltimore and only allowed, and one of the best offenses, and allowed 10 points. Then they went to Buffalo, took them on. The defense won them that championship. So if we can build on that defense and score about 20, 24, 25 points, let's see what we can do. So that's my thought process. But, again, I'm open to whatever. So it's Danielle Hunter for me. That's my crush, right? I'm digging me some Danielle Hunter, right? Because I'm thinking if you get Danielle Hunter and you draft old boy from Alabama, now you got him coming on both sides. Hey, what you gonna do?
Right? Get our draft pick from last year, Zach Harrison.
And also Zach Harrison, Arnold Bacady. I mean, we can just look at how this defense got some.
Yeah.
Well, I feel that though, Terry. That's another reason why I'm team young guy, because if you stay young at the quarterback and stay reasonable at the price of the quarterback,
price range,
you can put pieces around him. That's my GM theory. Because that's another reason why I say keep Ritter on the roster as well as a third string, because he's still on a rookie contract. That's why you also, as much as I dislike it, I gotta be real about it. That's why Richie Grant still may be on the team, because it's a rookie
100%.
contract.
I don't like the same thing
about saving money and putting money in other places and other positions. It's going to be some guys that you be like, I don't want them, but it's contract.
There you go. And that's real. That's real. That's real life, because it happens. Agree with you 100%, Chris. Even if you don't get Snead, I'm okay with it. It's just, maybe that's my, GM brain just working overtime. But the main thing is Danielle and rushers. You can sign AJ. You can, who's it? Cuda? I don't even know if you want to re-sign him. But the main thing is we need pressure up front, and that's only going to make those guys in the back better. That's my thoughts, guys.
Going to Chase here. I know he has to get ready to step out and take care of some things. Chase, quickly, any free agents? Wait a minute. You already answered that question.
Yeah.
We got to go to Bodie on that question.
Bodie!
Wait, you got time for that, Chase?
I want to hear Bodie.
Bodie 3000. Padres waiting for that bathroom to be regrouted. So quickly, if you want to go ahead and let us know your free agent choice that you're looking at.
I'm hoping you're gonna say me first, because I already know who the hell I want. All right. There's only one guy. Bryce Huff. Bring this guy here.
Bryce Huff.
Number 47.
If you ain't done your Bryce Huff research, please go online right now. I implore you. This guy has the second highest pass rush win rate in the league. Higher than Micah Parsons and all his friends. Okay, let's be real. All right. The year before, he had the first number one highest pass rush. It's hard to say. That's a fucking tongue twister. Pass rush win rate. The year before, not just this past season, but the year before. Okay. The guy is off the charts. He might be what you call a one-trick pony, but he does that one trick so goddamn good. Oh my god. That one I give him, and
it's another guy that we was talking about who does it well, and that's Dallas Turner. So I'm just saying, man.
I'm getting there.
Wait, you can get Huff
own it.
and
You own it,
Turner?
A1.
You can get
Listen,
Huff
I'll
and
take
Turner?
it.
I'm
I'll
not
take
done.
it.
I'm not done. He is only 25. Huff is. So
Yep.
he's the timeline on the team. He's younger and cheaper than Danielle Hunter.
Yeah, he
He
is.
has a lot to prove. The dude didn't play. He was a DMP-CD his first 3 games last year, this past season.
Yeah.
They didn't know what the fuck they had. Then they had injuries. They got guys they drafted in the first round or whatever already. So they didn't plan on playing Bryce Huff, but he was so goddamn good. They had to get him out there. He only played 42% of the snaps and got double-digit sacks last year. Think about that.
Wow.
Mhm.
So he come here and he get more snaps, which he fucking will because he's a great pass rusher. We're looking at 12 plus sacks, easy. 14.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
that's potential. He's winning his matchups. He is winning his matchups. And I'm gonna say it one more time. He is winning his matchups. Go look at the tape. My guy, and he's from Mobile, Alabama. It's next to Georgia. So he probably want to come home. So Bryce Huff.
I like it.
I heard that.
I
heard
man.
that.
I'm
Hey.
looking at Bryce myself. So yeah. And if you want to do it by committee, like if you don't want to go get that Danielle Hunter, if you want to like do it by committee, that's a name that you bring in. You bring in a Bryce Huff. You bring in an Espinada out of Buffalo. You bring in like other pieces, maybe a Greenyard, maybe a Greenyard from the Texans. You know, you can do it by committee. That's why we are here, y'all. It is so many scenarios right now because it's still early, but this what makes it all fun just to talk about, just to get the idea in your head, and then you possibly may see one of these scenarios in a few weeks.
Yeah,
that draft will be here in a minute.
It will. Yeah, he's got a 79.7 with PFF. Bryce Huff does, which is essentially 80%. So he's good. He's good.
Yeah, we fuck with PFF over here. People like to hear the stats and the numbers. Some of the metrics is actually pretty cool here for the fans because we had some analysis in the chat. Some people that they just love
That's higher than Brian Burns. I hope you know that.
It is.
I did not know that.
No,
I did not know that.
Honestly, as far as like pass rushing and the numbers, as far as sacks go, yeah, Bryce Huff, yeah. And I like Brian Burns.
Sacks as a backup. Think about it. He had 2 first rounders in front of him.
Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. It's going down in a major way when you got diehard Atlanta Falcon fans talking Falcons football. Chase, I know you got some stuff to take care of. Any shout outs you got for tonight? Go ahead and rep DFU like you rep the Falcons, my brother.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Bodie. Shout out to Terry, you, A1. Appreciate you coming by, brother. Speaking some Falcon football, giving us your opinions. Shout out to everybody in the live chat, man. Chat's popping off, steady, seeing new comments coming over here. Shout out to each and every one of y'all. Hit that like button. Be sure to share to a Falcon friend and family. Hit that like button for sure and subscribe, man. Catch Dirty Fanatics United live Friday night at 8. You can catch us at DFU_ATL on YouTube, Dirty Fanatics United on TikTok, and Facebook groups, Dirty Fanatics United. Trying to hit 350 before the end of this month. We're at 320 right now, I believe it is. So if we hit 350, we're giving away a free preseason game ticket. So be sure to check us out, man, and hit that subscribe button. Jack, as always, man, appreciate the opportunity to come on the show and talk Falcon football. Bodie, get that yard clipped up. Terry, get that oil changed. We'll check out later, man.
Lord have mercy.
I knew that shit was getting ready to happen too because it was just so smooth. He was going around the table like something was getting ready to happen. And he left the chat too before he could say that. But Bodie
got right on about it here.
Because he didn't want me to get up on him. I was gonna tell him to go chop that lumber with that damn mustache, that beard.
Sheesh. I ain't gonna lie though. Chase Snapchats be weird as hell. I be sitting over there watching. He be in there like sawing some boat down or something. Like that's a big ass boat, man. How long is it gonna take y'all to build that shit? Like a couple years. Like god damn, Chase. It's a long time job you gonna be out there. Keep these in the chat. Rise up for real. Chat is live. Chat is lit. The Dixon Way is in the chat. It said Nate better be re-signed.
I'm
oh yeah, he better be. He better be. That's why I said his name first because I'm still looking like, okay, where's Nate Landman? Go ahead and sign him, and we can move on.
You got a lot of players here that the Falcons can look at re-signing here. I think Nate Landman is one of the names that players, not only on the team, but of course fans here in the chat, fans that watch the podcast and listen and don't even watch and listen would say Landman is the guy. He is the guy you have to go get because other teams would look at this guy and say, shit, we can pay this kid. Falcons, that's the first look, man. Get this guy back in the building for next season. Falcon fans in the chat, it's going down, man. Tammy Wilsaw said, great discussion. Rise up. Michael's in the chat said, get Fuller at safety from the Rams.
I don't hate it.
Take it.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Cindy's in the chat. She said, learning a lot about the draft this year, and I think Cousins is too expensive, and his talent may not be what it was after his injury. Cindy is our Rise Up Tour member who's been a diehard Falcon fan for, oh my gosh, this is a real deal diehard Falcon fan. So big shout out to Cindy and her husband Randy, who's always in the chat talking Falcons football with us. Wallace Smith, I have a question for y'all. And what do you think about getting Sweat in the second round to plug the middle of the defense at nose tackle? A1, you've been watching a little bit of Sweat right here for the nose tackles?
Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie. Sweat, he had some decent numbers to be the biggest man in the draft, to be the second heaviest man in combine history at 366. You know, he played at 365 all season long. And
He ran a 5.4 or 5.67 or what was it? He had a good 40.
I think he had a decent 40. It wasn't 40. Bad. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He had a decent 40. He had a decent, showing in the drills. I believe he's a guy that if he's in the second at 4, I wouldn't trade up to go get him. But if he falls to you, absolutely, you take him in and go ahead and plug him in. I do actually like other options than Sweat, but yeah, you can definitely plug him in. I'll take him. I would. He's not a bad player. It's just other options out there as well.
Quickly, Bodie, this is not a draft that you have to reach for somebody. There's enough talent across the board. If you do your due diligence correctly, there's no reaching, but there's no Madden moments here, right, Bodie?
There's no reason to reach. There's no reason to reach for receivers. There's too many who could do too much. There's great route runners. There's speed guys. There's speed route runner guys. You're going back to defense. You got your big bodies. You got your pass rushers. You got your speed rushers. You got the technique guys. You got it's a lot of that. It's a lot of that. There's no need to reach anywhere that that we draft. So if anything, like A1 say, trading back would be a good thing. Fill as many holes as possible. But yeah, there's no need to reach at all.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button as we get ready to wrap up this show. I know there's a lot of Rise Up Tour members in here. Want to find out who's going to win that giveaway. A1, we had a giveaway raffle that we do here with the Rise Up Tour. There's a lot of dedicated members who travel to these away games. Our membership program for 2024 is going through the roof right now, and we're doing giveaways. So there's a lot of Rise Up Tour members like, who won the award? Who won this raffle? They want to get their free gift. So Rise Up Tour members, just relax. All right, we're going to tell you who the winner is of the free raffle. And, of course, we have another raffle coming up for Rise Up Tour members next week. So the Dixon Way is also in the chat. Due to his age, Huff will be in high demand, Bodie.
Yeah, that's possible.
We got money.
Well, I'd love to hear that.
Just as good a chance. Money. We just as good a chance as them other cats.
Time when we didn't have money, we couldn't talk about Huff. We couldn't talk about Daniel Hunter. We couldn't talk about these big name players that can make this.
Talk about nobody. We couldn't even buy ourselves a ham and cheese sandwich from Waffle House.
Shit, and the Mercedes-Benz prices are pretty cheap. We couldn't even buy the waffle fries with them chicken tenders, man. That's tough. And they could add Floyd on a cheaper deal also. You're talking about Leonard Floyd now? Wallace Smith, we got the money. When I tell you the Falcons got their own money, the Falcons got their own money. It's looking good out here. Falcons fans, you know it's going down in a major way. Dave said paying a CB big money in today's NFL is asking to committing football suicide. Ooh, Dave with his take about what he feels about paying top dollar to some of these cornerbacks over here.
Paying anybody right now, I'd say real quick, paying anybody other than what we really need is like pass rush and maybe quarterback, but I wouldn't even pay a Cousins that much. But I pay top dollar for pass rush. I would. Be it the Danielle Hunter, whoever. I pay a top dollar for that guy.
It's Jones, yeah.
That I mean, you can't get pass rush anyway, and we ain't had pass rush since God knows how long.
What's his name? Oh
John
God,
Abraham consistently.
I'm not talking about Vic Beasley.
I said John Abraham.
John Abraham. That's who I was
thinking. Abraham. John Abraham, and then before him, Patrick Kearney.
Yeah.
I used to love Patrick Kearney, man. My goodness.
Love Patrick Kearney.
Yeah, man.
Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. It's the Jonathan Babineau? You talking about Babs?
Babs.
I like Babs. I like Babs.
Babs was a D tackle, right? Babs was a D tackle, right? Yeah, he was a D tackle, man. Yeah.
He get pressure, but he wasn't a pass rusher.
Falcon fans,
I mean, he's a good player for us.
He was.
Yeah, he was a good player. He was a good
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe buttons. We get ready to wrap up this show here. We want to make sure fans had a great time talking Falcons football. Diane Markham, who won our One Time for the Fan giveaway last week, she won herself a Jesse Bates jersey, which is on the way to you as well. She won herself a brand new Jesse Bates jersey that she can go to Falcons games, home and away. She's also a Rise Up Tour. Look, she got the Rise Up Tour shirt on, her and her husband Ben. They're diehard Atlanta Falcon fans. They also travel to away games, and they just love the Atlanta Falcons. You can see from London last year to LA to Seattle, anywhere I've been as a Falcon fan with the Rise Up Tour, Ben and Diane have also been there too as well. Ben also knows the story of my 80 yards on the run throw. You had to be in Arizona for that story. So for fans wondering, Jack, tell us the 80 yards on the run story. Ben knows it.
No, my dinner's getting cold.
Okay, I got it.
No,
dinner or breakfast? Are you still in Hong Kong? What time is it right now?
You don't rush Jack from State Farm. You don't do that.
I don't want to hear that story. I done heard it too much, Terry. I done heard it too much.
You don't rush Jack from State Farm. You don't do that. You don't.
We had a lot of names enter the Rise Up Tour giveaway in our membership group. And, we gave away a Falcons tumbler last week to Tanya King Thompson, the winner of our Rise Up Tour giveaway. And we're going to do another one here tonight. Ronald Benjamin is the winner
of the
Rise Up Tour giveaway.
Way to go,
Ronald
Benjamin
is the winner of the Rise Up Tour giveaway. We have a lot of fans, like I said, that travel on the road. They love the bus trips and these experiences that we put on for them. We got Vegas this year. We got Minnesota. We got Denver, Washington, and of course our division games. But Ronald Benjamin, Jabri's in the chat too as well.
Yes.
It's amazing when you get fans to experience this firsthand. Not only seeing the Falcons play on the road, but these parties and events that we put on. We want people to have a good time and to go home and say, regardless if the Falcons won or lost, we had a great fucking time. So that's what we do with the Rise Up Tour. For fans that want to know a little bit more about the Rise Up Tour, I had one of these overlays set up for y'all. Oh, here it is right here. Going to a Falcons away game this year, right there at the bottom. You can go ahead and sign up for the Rise Up Tour. We have the promo code OTFTF. That's One Time for the Fan at checkout for fans going to Vegas, going to Denver, going to Washington, wherever you're going. If you want to party with some Falcon fans on a diehard level, on a whole nother level, go ahead and sign up with the Rise Up Tour. A1, this has been great tonight talking Falcons football with you, sir.
Yes.
And I guarantee you will be back on the podcast. I can guarantee that.
Hey, thank you guys. Thank you guys. And I just want to let you guys know that I am Ronald Benjamin.
Oh, looks like A1. Looks like A11.
So you can go ahead and send that on over to me.
Let's go ahead and get your information, sir. You want to go ahead and give me your address, Mr. Benjamin?
I am Mr. Benjamin.
Hold on. Let me just check here. Where's your beard, Mr. Benjamin?
Oh my God! You got to shave.
You cut the silver fox already in the past couple minutes. What happened here?
Yeah, man. That's just for me and ain't some shit, but I'm telling you.
Yo, it's going down in the major way. Jabri said I want to go to Vegas and Denver this year. Definitely. Jabri, you know what? Right. When it comes to me as a Falcon fan, we're going everywhere, man. We just waiting for the schedule to drop. That's all we waiting on. The dates already. I don't book any other vacation until the Falcons drop their schedule. Then after the Falcons drop their schedule, we can book any other vacation because it's tough to book around the Falcons away games. You want to be in Vegas week 4, but there's something going on, in another city or something that, the family's kind of playing. It's like, hold on, we can go Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday because Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I got to be in Vegas. This is how it works, man. We just diehard Atlanta Falcon fans. A1, your socials one more time for the Falcon fans so we can follow you, all your content. Where can we hear your podcast coming up for the fans that were maybe late to the chat? they get a chance to hear your socials again, where can we find you, brother?
Yeah, Mr. Benjamin.
On Twitter.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Benjamin.
Oh yeah. You can find Mr. Benjamin on
Ronald's watching the chat like, don't you give him that damn gift, boy. Don't you give him that gift.
Right. But Twitter, A1 Forever. Instagram, A1 Forever. The platform on Instagram, A1 Forever Sports. You also can catch me on TikTok at The Real A1 Forever. Now, I just want to thank you guys again for having me on. This has been great. This was fun. Amazing show with you guys, and definitely don't mind doing this again, man. Catch you guys soon. I believe sometime this week, me, Smitty, and Berto, we're gonna get together, put our heads together, and give you guys our thoughts about the combine and players we like, players that maybe up their stock, lower their stock. We're just gonna throw some ideas around, and hopefully you guys like it.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button too. A1 Forever. A1, we thank you for being on this podcast, sir. And of course, we will get you back. Matter of fact,
thank you.
I'm sure y'all busy draft night. So is it possible we can get you on draft night, or how's it gonna work?
I'm not sure exactly. I know we was talking about doing something for draft night, but I'm gonna talk with the guys, man, to see. I think we probably doing something big, so we may end up linking regardless. We'll see what happens.
However, we can do it. Maybe if you guys are doing your co-podcast, maybe one can step away and join us over here, and then another person step away, because it's gonna be like 3 hours of content for everybody, so it's gonna be a long time. Bodie, when we first started, it was 3.5 hours for day one, right? 5.5 hours for day two that we covered, and then 3.5 hours for day three. Chris, we're sitting there day two with 5.5 hours of content, bro.
Right.
5.5 hours of draft content.
I didn't pee. I didn't do nothing.
It's affecting him right now. Matter of fact, your doctor visit is Thursday, bro.
For 5 hours. Lucky I ain't got no kidney stones, none of that.
I'm trying to tell you.
I sat there, I was hungry. I didn't snack. I didn't think I drank water, bro. Like
Chris over there, like pick 263. The Colts select Jarwin Johnson, and the Falcons have 30 more picks until they pick.
Right.
I'm gonna let that day two can get a little left.
5.5, 6 hour show. If you start,
I'm gonna let y'all know. Hey, I'm gonna let y'all know right now. I got a 53-year-old bladder. There will need to be some breaks this year. I'm just saying. Day two. Let me set expectations.
We're not doing that shit again.
We're not doing that shit again. There was a lot of almost fallouts from that one show that we ever had. Like 5 hours, motherfucker. 5 hours.
Our very first ever show.
37.
You work in the Amazon. You work in the Amazon shift. 5 hours. You got
UPS. That cheap bastard over there didn't pay me shit.
Oh my god. A1, this has been great. If we keep you here longer, we got to talk about Koo and his kicking situation. That could take 30 minutes.
And that's a whole other conversation.
We'll get you back on the podcast later this year, man. We thank you for everything, Chris. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
Wonderful, man. Thank you, guys.
Enjoyed it, brother.
Rise up, everybody. A1 forever.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
I'm trying to tell y'all, man.
He said, I'm Ron Burgundy. Shit.
Hey, man, I'm trying to tell y'all, man, when we do these special guests, man, we do these shows, these podcasts, we got these Falcon fans in here, keeping that shit 100, keeping that shit real. Man, there's so many other people we're getting ready to put up on this podcast, so that way everybody can, chat with you all. That's what we're doing it for. Raymond Collins said, let's get it one time, fella. You already know, man. Raymond Collins, we doing it for y'all, man.
One time for the one time.
It's one time for the one time. I'm a diehard. You're a diehard. Christian Lewis is a diehard. Look at Christian Lewis. Look at the back. Look at the profile pic, cuz. Look at the Falcon jacket, bro.
It's hard.
Like, come on,
hard. Bro. I saw it when her picture was up there before. I was like, that's hard.
Come on, bro. Like, these are the fans we got in the chat, bro. Bro, Reggie, I be partying with Reggie on the road and shit. You see Reggie at the away games and home games. The Dixon Way. I told y'all about training camp. I was over there in the front row of the training camp by the rope watching Falcons football. All I hear is, oh, yeah, and Desmond Ridder, he going to be out here. I said, who the fuck is broadcasting in the middle of training camp? I look back. It's the Dixon Way. He got a whole crowd around him. Everybody, come on. Everybody get in line. Who's next? He interviewing everybody. That's a diehard Atlanta Falcon fan, man.
That's what's up.
The Dixon way, man. Emmanuel McFarland. Diane Markham. Rise up to her. Look at this. I'm not lying to you all about who these fans are
like that?
in these chats. Bodie is a diehard. Terry is a diehard. Chase is a diehard. Jabri Harper is a diehard. Dirty Fanatics United is in the chat. 662 subscribers. Hit that sub. We're almost at 700. We can get to 1,000 if y'all want. It's going to take Jabri to tell somebody. It's going to take Lisa Shepard to tell somebody. It's going to take Wallace Smith and Ben Markham and Kerry to tell somebody. These are diehard fans. These ain't bots. Look, Michael ain't no bot. Look at Mike. He ain't no bot. Hill ain't no bot. Jamel ain't no bot, man. These are real Falcon fans that spending their money, hard-earned time, money to find out what the Falcon fans believe. Jeremiah Weems.
Yeah, love CP. Hope he come back, but who knows?
I love CP too, Bodie, but guess what? You got some fucking gems in this draft. I wouldn't be surprised if CP doesn't come back seeing at this draft class. You heard what A1 said? We can go get a younger you.
Yeah.
We can. Yeah. A lot of guys.
There's some drafts you can't go get a younger Matt Ryan. You don't know where to find him. You can't go get a younger Julio Jones. How do you know?
Yeah.
Some players in this draft, you're like, oh, how much you asking for? $37 million, boy. How many snaps you playing that?
Oh yeah, and Terry, I tell you, BLB, I love him to death, but you can't do Penix at 8. No,
that shit was coming. Eric Parker's chill though. He's chill.
Hey,
Parker's chill.
That was the argument that I had with. Now again, this was way back, way back, right? But that was the argument that he and I had. His point was it was one game. Yeah. And if you look at the previous games, but my point was he looked so bad against me. And look, not that he can't be. Because guess what, guys? He could be drafted. He could be a stud, right? My main concern is twofold. Number one, when you put that pressure on him, he reverts to some bad habits. Can they be overcome? Yes. But I'm not willing to do that at 8. I'm okay with that at 25. I'm okay with that in the second round. I'd love Penix in the second round, but not at 8. But my brother was like, the touch that he has, the ability to throw that ball and throw it with velocity. And he does, right? But again, to Bodie's point, everybody has a plan until they get hit in the mouth, right? So what can you do against NFL competition? But, hey, Bodie, I agree with you, man. I agree with you 100%. BLB, if you're out there, love you, bro. But I'm not taking Penix at 8. Okay. We'll argue about it tomorrow. He'll call me and be like, man, I can't believe you. But
I can't wait to get BLB on the show with you and we talk about this together.
BLB is going to be on the show real soon. I talked to him today. He's always excited to come talk Falcons football with us here. You see him in the chat. I'm in another chat with Eric too as well. And of course, we commented on the phone. The Dixon way. I made a comment on your. I left a comment on your podcast last time. You can reach out to me too as well. We definitely got to get the Dixon way on one of these podcasts coming up. We talked about it at training camp last year, Dixon way, when you was doing. Your short highlights and your clips. We was trying to get you on then too as well. It's been a whole year. Let's get the Dixon way on here and talk some Falcons football because he is a diehard Atlanta Falcons fan. Last question of the night for everybody. Terry, what's up?
When you get BLB on the show, man, you got to ask him about superstitions. You have to. You have to ask him about superstitions. You have to. Because it just his whole superstitious universe is second to none, bro. Second to none. Like when the Falcons, ever since 2016, he refuses to watch a game at my house. We can't watch it together. So he
sounds like something we need to ask Eric Parker about.
My brother, let me tell you something. My brother's an interesting dude, man. I love him to death. He's an interesting dude. You need to ask him about that, and then ask him for the upcoming year, what's our record going to be? And I promise you, he will say we're going to be 17-0 because that's his thing. And
Eric
whenever
Parker
I'm like,
doesn't believe in a loss for the Atlanta Falcons.
He does not. So ask him when he comes on. you must ask him those two questions.
But
I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to watch.
Eric does that though. T. And shout out to everybody, Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast. Shout out to everybody listening while watching. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button. For Eric, he doesn't want to wake up and say we're losing today. I'm putting all my gear to go watch a team lose.
I get it.
How difficult is that to say that we're going to lose today?
I get it.
That anything can happen on this Sunday, week 1 to week 17. It's like, oh, we're going to the game today. How much we going to lose by? We're going to lose by 30. They're going to lose 30, real bad. Come on. Like, who wants to believe that? You know, that's
every show we was on last year, we gave our score predictions. Not once did we say we're going to fucking lose.
We did the same thing.
Not going to do that.
We're
just not going to do that. And we do give our records, and then we try to, go about that. Which I hate the thought of losing. I know it can happen, but shit, hell, we can go undefeated just as well too. So.
Fans in the chat, be logistic. Be real. I mean, you're not going to wake up on Sunday and say the Falcons are going to get beat by 50 today. Like, who's expecting the Falcons to get beat by 50?
Nobody's doing that
today, right? I mean, there's some games you're like, okay, this is going to be a tough game. Maybe something can happen when we win. I know how Falcon fans kind of talk about it. But who's going to wake up and say, oh, we're getting beat by 50 today. Let me put on my gear and go spend like $300 at the stadium. Like,
no, I get it. I get it. I guess what I'm saying is when you're assessing what your record is going to be at the season, to me, that's a little different than waking up that day.
That is
obviously
different.
When you wake, right. Obviously, when you wake up on that day, you're hoping for a victory. But when you're assessing wins and losses at the beginning of the season, I just very rarely do teams go undefeated. So, I'm always like, oh, we'll go, 11-6 or 12 and whatever. And he'll be like, why are you being negative? What are you doing?
But LBB, you're gonna get LBB. You're gonna get BLB kind of upset about that. He's waiting for that comment. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that when it happens. Eric's gonna be on the show soon. Bodie, as we get ready to wrap up the podcast here tonight on as we get ready to wrap up the podcast here tonight on One Time for the Fan, A1 stopping by talking Falcons football with us. Great to see you, Chase, and Terry, everybody here because it's the off season, so we're doing what we like. Everybody has family and things that we got to take care of, and it's just been great that everybody's been stepping up to join the podcast and talk Falcons football because, like I said, it's the off season, right? Falcons are haven't started cooking really as yet. They're putting the ingredients in the pot, but they haven't started cooking yet, right? And it's gonna get underway shortly. But Bodie, your shout outs, man, for tonight. It's been great talking with you, brother.
Yeah, shout out to our special guest A1. That brother knows his stuff. He's definitely a great mind to have, and I love to have him on the show because he has very interesting takes, and to give you a different way to look at the game, and that's what all of us, all the fans, even everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat, and they give us these different takes, and we can take them, we can play with them. I can't wait for concrete things to happen in the next 2 weeks because free agency, we can talk about some real stuff that's going on. I can't wait. It's fun talking these, but I'm kind of over it.
Yeah,
I'm ready for some
rumors and the speculation. Yeah,
I'm ready for some shit to happen. So, but yeah, shout out to everybody throwing out their different scenarios and stuff. Shout out to Terry, man. Appreciate you, brother. Like I said, you got a unique perspective, and I'm just glad you're here. Glad you're here to talk and bounce ideas off of you as well. And no shout out to Jack's barber. That dude sucks. That's why you wear a hat.
Oh wow! Oh wow! We're taking shots. Oh wow! Bodie, man, I'm so glad you're here.
Chat. He didn't lead the chat when he said the joke, though. So that means that the roast session is upon us now.
Well, hey, he said what he said, bro. He said what he said. It is what it is. Bodie, I'm just glad you're here, man. It is so much fun. First off, to do this. Secondly, to do this with you and Jack and everybody that we have on. I agree with you on A1 sentiment. Definitely gave me some things to think about, some things to consider. And like you say, there are multiple paths to get to victory. So, he could be right about some things. Don't know. Yeah. We'll see. It's interesting. Bodie, you make me laugh, and I'm always fond of just anybody who makes me laugh, bro. So just keep coming back, man, because I just think your honesty. You say things that I'm thinking. Right?
Yeah.
Like I'll say something and I'll try to phrase it a certain way. And you'll be like, nah, you'll say exactly what I'm thinking. And I love that. So personally, You know, I want you to keep coming back because you speak for me, and so I'm not going to tell you in which way, but a lot of situations when you're like, no, I'm right there with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe. Anyway,
he definitely can make somebody laugh. He can make you mad too if you ask him to do an oil filter change. He didn't.
It's crazy.
He didn't
you know
take
what?
the coupon code that I gave him the other day.
Jack, even Jack said that. Jack said that me and you, Terry, had like the same mindset when it comes to Falcon football and football in general.
I see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
I see it. I definitely see it. You just cut to the chase, and I might try and drive around, and you're just gonna go I-20 and straight, straight to it. Which I just sometimes like there are a couple, and I'm not gonna say, but there are a couple of times we've been on some shows, and you've said stuff, and I wanted to laugh. I couldn't really laugh like I wanted to because it was exactly what I was thinking. It's like you were in my head, bro.
You wasn't on the highway like how John Freaky was the other day when he said he was driving around 285 for fun.
Absolutely. Shout out to Freaky again, man.
John Freaky, man.
Shout out to Freaky again.
Country called 92.9 Saturday and spoke to John Freaky again. So Falcon fans, if you're listening to One Time for the Fan and you want to go back and watch the John Freaky podcast that we had on Friday, our Breakfast with One Time for the Fan podcast. He said on the show, call Saturday mornings when he has his show. Call and talk Falcons football with him. He loves it. That's why we talked to John. That's why we had to reach out to John because he is a die-hard Atlanta Falcon fan and a journalist too as well. Terry, any shout outs for tonight?
Hey, man, first and foremost, shout out to A1, shout out to Chase, and smooth exit, by the way, Chase, wherever you are. I have to watch out for you next time, but that was
in the backyard right now. Chase, they said
that's pretty smooth. Bodie, hey, man, can't thank you enough. Shout out to my family. Thank God I'm here. Shout out to the fans, Falcons fans. Shout out to the fans of this chat. Shout out to BLB. And of course, brother, shout out to our host. I would not be here with you if it were not for you. And as long as you keep inviting me back, I'm gonna keep coming. I cannot thank you enough. I love doing this, and hopefully we'll be doing this for many more shows. Thank you.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Just from posting this right here, just got 2 messages about fans asking about away games this year. You guys know what we do with the tour. I don't have to keep explaining this, but I will keep explaining it. We put on in every city. So shout out to Young Jeezy too as well. Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. YouTube, One Time for the Fan, please. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I think we do enough good content here. We have some really cool special guests coming up on Wednesday. We have a special guest coming up Friday morning. So shout out to everybody who's been just repping One Time for the Fan. Hashtag One Timers, hashtag the Fan Club. We do it for y'all. So with that being said, Bodie, T-Whip.